Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Tucker of Detroit Speed. We're here at GM Nationals at Carlisle, Pennsylvania this weekend and celebrating the 3rd Gen Camaro. So quite a spectacle here in the Firebirds. It's neat to see all these great cars gathered and some really awesome drivers like Ron Fellows is here, reunited with his old Camaro. So really neat stuff for the weekend. But I was invited up to bring the DSE-Z. It's a car near and dear to my heart. Like any product line that we've had at Detroit Speed, we've designed everything to the nth degree that we can do it in the engineering department. And then we always start with a development car to develop those products, test those products, and really continuous improvement, all the way into production of those parts. And this 3rd Gen was key in the development of our Detroit Speed 3rd Gen Camaro parts. It's actually the second car. And I'll get into that in one of my seminars I give this weekend, but it's actually Test Car 2.0. The first one was sacrificed pretty early on in its life. This one survived so far, luckily, knock on wood. And we've used it a lot to develop the parts, really all the way through production and then market the parts. So it's a 1988 Camaro. Started off as a 6-cylinder, really beater car. I think I paid $550 and a 12-pack of Budweiser for it. Pulled it out of the woods, and I really just wanted the body, a solid roof car to start with. And we had a few parts left over that we salvaged from the crashed car and built this car. And this came out in 2017, I believe. And we started autocrossing, track days, road coursing, really all over the country. A lot of Optima, Ultimate Street Car events. We're fortunate to have won some of those in the vintage class in this car. And it's been a fun car to drive. So it obviously has all the Detroit Speed front suspension. It's actually a Speed Kit 3. So it's all the parts that you can buy right off the website. And it also has some prototype parts on it right now that we're still developing and we'll add to the product line in the front suspension. But it's really, body-wise, it's fairly stock. As we're here in the front, we've actually lowered the front chin about 2.5 inches to take the nose down a little bit, and then we actually built a splitter for it that goes all the way back to the front tire, so it is functional. It even gets lower than this in track action, but fairly simple body mods. Just a clean and simple build. In the rear of the car, 315 tires in the front, 335s in the back, and it does have the Hawks tall spoiler on the back. And just a little detail, we filled the rib here in the back to smooth out the rear bumper cover, but otherwise it's all the great design cues from the 3rd Gen Camaro days, so it's hard to improve on that. In the rear suspension, we do have the DSE Quadrelink, so that's been in the car since inception. The subframe connectors, the whole, like I said, Detroit Speed product line is thrown at this car. So it does have a Gear FX Ford 9-inch driveline in it. The exhaust, everybody always asks me because it is kind of loud, what exhaust is on it, and it's actually just chambered exhaust. There's no mufflers on the car at all. It does have an X-pipe in it, 3-inch X-pipe that we built, and then a small section of chambered exhaust in the middle, and then tailpipes out the back. So most tracks that require sound requirements we have to stay away from or really muffle it down, so it is kind of loud. It is one of the GM glass hoods with the track spec louver vents in it, so that's kind of neat to get some heat out of the car and prevent packing of air under the hood as well. Driveline in the car is a Mast Motorsports out of Texas D-stroked LS7. It is a dry sumped engine with an ARE pump, ARE pan, and actually it's a daily pan now. We've been through a few iterations of the engine while we've ran it, but a lot of Course Holly products in the engine, from the MSD intake to the throttle body, on and on, Dominator controller, fuel injection, but Bowler 6-speed is in it right now. And a Dynotech drive shaft, so that kind of completes the driveline in it. But it is an ARE tank, true dry sump system, and it runs really good. It's actually 388 inches, so again, it's a D-stroked LS7, and it can turn about 9,700 RPM, so it's fun to drive, especially on the big road courses. It's very fun to drive. It's got a center force, small 8.5-inch dual clutch plate on it. And I think that's about it driveline wise. You can see the 3-point cross brace, again from Detroit Speed, and the camber caster upper strut mounts. It has JRI struts in the front that we offer, and a JRI rear coilover shock on the back. It's kind of neat with the Speed-Align kits. You can actually adjust the camber and the caster at the track with these eccentric stars and drop it in place. So it's a unique feature of some of our suspension parts, and it makes tuning at the track pretty easy. So that's a neat feature as well. Forge line wheels, they did one that's kind of a throwback to the spoke, kind of like the Ronals, but a little thinner, open lugs, the Bear 6R calipers, and it's just a great combination on the track. So we've got a Tilton manual pedal setup assembly in it, and of course the GM blue. It's hard to go wrong if you like IROCs and third gen Camaros, that this blue fits on these cars. So that was always neat to do. And pointing out, we redid the badge. So if you get our Speed Kit 3 and our up-level suspension kits, you'll get a Detroit Speed equipped badge to go in the rocker there on the GM rocker. So that's kind of cool. Bragging rights to have too. Inside the car, the subframe connectors and our adjustable seat mounts, you can see. So the seats are set very low. And it's on quick pins, so you can adjust the seats fore and aft. There's actually a shell seat on the driver's side. For track days, we actually have another Camaro repeat interior seat to go on the matching side of the driver for just street cruising. And that was kind of neat to be able to find that Camaro repeat pattern to throw it back into the interior, even though they're aftermarket seats. This dash was a non-AC dash that I found, and of course a roll-up window crank, so that was neat to find. But really pretty basic on the interior. It does have a full cage in it, and we actually cut part of the roof out to tuck the halo bar up into the roof line, so you have room with your helmet and sit with as much room as you can in these cars. It has a Woodward safety shaft in it, and pretty minimalistic in the interior. It does have a vintage air heat cool defrost unit in it, and that keeps the windshield defrosted, and on those cool track mornings you can warm up your toes a little bit too. So it's a neat feature from Vintage Air that's going in a lot of these cars. In the back, it's really pretty stock. We've actually got a carpeted interior and a stock hatch in it. And throwback again to some 80s cues, we smoked the lenses because everybody had smoked lenses or wanted them, right, in the late 80s and early 90s, so we did that too. But it was a full rotisserie paint. Underneath the car is Dove Gray. We like to do that so as we bring the car back through the week and inspect it and maintain it, we can look for any issues on the gray paint. It seems to stand out a little more. There hasn't been any, but it's a really clean car. I wish it could be up in the air to show everybody, but neat piece and very fun to drive, and glad I can be here and talk Camaros with everybody this weekend.